I was around 5 or 6 years old at the time, and as you probably know, most girls at around that age would be into dolls, especially Barbies and princess dolls, and I was one of them. Although I never really played with them. Most of the time my dolls would be on a small shelf, not too far up the wall, but enough for me to reach, just standing or sitting there all day. One day I woke up, and for some odd reason I had a feeling about my dolls. I walked over to the small shelf where they were at, and I was just staring at them, and they stared back at me. I don't know why I was staring at them, but I guess I was just bored and wanted to stare at something, that being my dolls. A few minutes went by, and as I was starting to get bored, when I was about to get up, I suddenly got a cold feeling up my spine. For a quick second, I saw one of my dolls wink at me. I immediately stood up in shock, but didn't say anything. I thought it was in my imagination, knowing that I was 5 years old, but what I saw felt real. I never told anyone except my cousin about this. Till this day, I never got to know if what I saw was real or not. But luckily, as I got older, I lost interest in dolls and my parents put them into charity. But I still think about what happened that morning, and I wonder if that would happen again if I kept them.
This happened in 1998. At that time, I wasn't born yet, but this story was told by my mother. At the time, there was a flood. The door of our house was damaged and had to be repaired. 2 days later, my mother had a weird feeling because there were items missing from the house. Money, jewelry, food, and so on. One night, Dad planned to put a broom in the middle of the door of the house so if anyone opened it, then the broom would fall off. The next day, we were all shocked because the broom that was initially in the middle of the door was now next to the door, meaning someone had changed the position of the broom. That night, Dad planned to try to catch the person who tried to break in. My dad sat in the living room, turning off all the lights and fans. All of a sudden, the door opened and Dad saw a man enter our house. Dad immediately took a baseball bat and hit the man as hard as he could. The beaten man fell and writhed in pain. Apparently, the man was the man repairing our house. The man tried to escape and said he was thirsty and wanted water in the kitchen, but my father was not negligent and did not release him. After that, the police arrived and arrested the man. And most surprisingly, we were not the first. Many had fallen victim to this man. The police then went to investigate the man's house and informed the man's wife. Upon investigation, the man apparently stole a lot of jewelry and gifted it to his wife.
This happened when I was about 10 years old. My parents were going out to dinner and wanted me to watch my little brother while they were gone. A couple hours after they left, I decided to go to my room. Once I stepped foot inside, I saw the most unusual thing I had ever seen in my entire life. This little boy, who looked to be around my age, but from a different time period, was sitting in my chair at my desk, staring at a completely white screen on my Dell laptop. When he sensed I entered, he turned his head slowly, in perfect rhythm, to meet mine. It was so odd since he didn't jolt in surprise or turn his head around fast like a normal person would do. It was as if he was expecting me to come in. I immediately ran out and started crying. When I looked behind, he went back to staring at the screen. I didn't go back to my room until my parents arrived. When I walked inside again, the laptop was closed as if no one had touched it. I thought that was the end of that until a couple of years later. When it was 5 or 6 in the morning, I heard breathing that was done in perfect rhythm. I thought I was in sleep paralysis, but I could move and could change my breath pattern, so it wasn't that. When I realized that this thing was still breathing in that odd rhythm, I tried to act calm and not turn around. I closed my eyes and tried to focus on sleep. When I woke up, I didn't hear any more sounds, and I haven't heard that breathing again. I don't follow an organized religion, but there's something beyond this physical world that can't be explained. I hope I never see this thing again, but I do fear that it will pop up randomly.